Welcome to the Graduate Job Podcast, your home for weekly information and inspiration to help you get the graduate job of your dreams.
Welcome back everyone to the Graduate Job Podcast with your host, James Curran. The Graduate Job Podcast is your weekly home for all things related to helping you on your journey to finding that amazing job. Each week I bring together the best minds in the industry, speaking to leading authors, entrepreneurs, coaches and bloggers who bring decades of experience into a bite-sized weekly 30-minute show. Put simply, this is a show I wish I had a decade ago when I graduated. With summer just around the corner, this week we have a special episode dedicated to some of the most fun and exciting jobs you can do over the summer months. I speak with not one, not two, but three guests who each share some amazing opportunities you can do whilst the sun is shining, which apart from being brilliant fun, will allow you to raise money for charity while seeing the best bands in the world, take part in the craziest festivals in Europe, and help educate kids from around the world, all the while adding exciting content to your CV. So if your exams have just finished and you're looking for inspiration, or you're bored with your part-time job and want a summer to remember, then this is the episode for you. As a reminder, links to everything we discuss can be found on the website at graduatejobpodcast.com/summer. But let's first kick back and enjoy episode 22, as we start with how you can spend the summer volunteering as an Oxfam steward, raise money for a great cause, and have a blast at music festivals in the process.
Warm welcome today to Claire Williamson, Marketing Exec for Stewarding at Oxfam. Hello Claire, how are you doing?
Hi James, thanks for having me on.
Today we're going to talk around the summer opportunities that graduates and students can have stewarding at Oxfam festivals. So Claire, for those who are not aware, what are Oxfam Festival Stewards and what do they do?
Wow, right, okay. Well, Oxfam Stewarding is volunteers who give their time, donate their time if you like, to Oxfam to work basic roles around a festival that include things like wristbanding, ticket checking, campsite arena patrols, information points, that sort of thing. So being useful, not being security, but being useful stewards on site at some of the UK's best music festivals. In exchange for volunteering their time, they get to come to the festival essentially for free. They're giving their time in exchange for their ticket, if you like. But the way it works is that the festivals have a legal requirement to have stewards, and they pay Oxfam for providing that service. Because all our stewards are volunteers, that money, less our overheads for looking after our volunteers, is all money that's fundraising for Oxfam. And we raise in the vicinity of £1 million every summer just from being at music festivals. So everybody wins. It's a win-win-win. The festival has really happy to be there, engaged stewards welcoming the public to their event. The stewards themselves get to go to festivals and have a great time in between their shifts. They're totally free to enjoy the festival. And Oxfam makes a great deal of money from it in a really fun way that is a really positive way for the public to see an international charity and to interact with us. Does that answer your question?
No, it certainly does. And what festivals do you support then in the UK?
We have, I think, 20 or 21 this summer. I can run through a list if you'd like of what we've done this year. We've had some already. So we had Bearded Theory Festival at the end of May, which is a sort of a old-school indie festival up near Lichfield. We've had stewards at the Hay Festival in Hay-on-Wye, the Literature, Poetry, Philosophy Festival, so quite a different thing, not entirely music, although there was some music there. Our next one, the big one, is Glastonbury, and we'll have close to 2,500 volunteers with us on site at Glastonbury. The Oxfam camping, the Oxfield at that festival is pretty much a festival within a festival. It's huge. There's lots of us, and we have a great time, and we start enjoying ourselves there before the public get anywhere near to the festival. So we're on site for 10 days or so. Then after Glastonbury, we'll be at 2,000 Trees, which is at Upcott Farm near Cheltenham, and then something completely different the same weekend. This is sort of the 8th to 12th of July. starting on the 9th, we've got NAS Festival, which is just up the road from Glastonbury site at Barton West Showground, and is a BMX and skating hybrid festival with skate legend Tony Hawk's is going to be there, and bands like Public Enemy. So it's a sports and music hybrid. Mid-July we have Latitude Festival. Then later in July we have WOMAD, Somersault, Nostock, and Tramlines. Then moving on into August, we have Camp Festival, which is the sister festival of Festival, the well-known one on the Isle of Wight, and we do both of those. Festival itself is in September. It's the last one at the end of our season. But after Camp Festival, we have Boardmasters in Cornwall, another music sports hybrid festival, which is surfing. It's a surfing competition and also has an arena, and that's a lovely seaside festival to go to. Then Boomtown Fair, massively popular, growing festival in the UK. Then Beautiful Days, which is the Levellers Festival. Then really at the end of our season, we have the big hitters. We have the big bank holiday weekend where we have 3 different festivals simultaneously. We have crews out at all 3. That's Reading and Leeds, obviously, which are 2 halves of the same big festival. Great rock and now some dance music as well, festival there. And Shambhala, which is quite alternative, happens at the same weekend. And then at the end of the season, we have Festival on the Isle of Wight, as I mentioned, which is huge. It's the second biggest festival after Glastonbury that we do. And we take 1,300 stewards, I think, to that one as well. And that's a great party being at the end of the season too.
Wow. So how many stewards would that be over the course of the summer?
I am looking at recruiting festival campaigns teams as well as stewards, and in total I think it's somewhere around 8,500 festival volunteering places that I'm responsible for recruiting this year, which is no mean feat. It won't be that many people because lots of stewards do multiple festivals, so I'm looking for those 8,500 places to be filled by approximately 6,000 people. We encourage people to fill their summer with festivals because they can pay the deposit when they apply and then do lots of festivals. They don't have to pay again for each one. That one deposit will cover you for the whole summer. And we've got some people taking the 12-gig challenge this year. They're actually doing 12 festivals and going from one to the other throughout the summer holiday, which is immense. I think I'd be exhausted if I tried that. But people do. And we do have folks that do, sort of 3 or 4 and spread them out over the summer period and really do fill their summer with festivals.
Well, that sounds an amazing opportunity and lots of fun. I think you might need a new liver at the end of the 12 festival challenge.
Well, yeah, or a new back. I think that much camping, airbeds and things would do me in. But then some of our stewards are a lot younger and fitter than I am. So
you mentioned that stewards are free to go see the festival after the end of their shift. What does an average shift look like? How long would it be, and how many are there over the course of each festival?
So the average is 3 8-hour shifts over the course of the festival. Is actually in reality 8 and a quarter hours because we have a 15-minute handover at the beginning of every shift. But that's essentially 24 hours worth of work in your week on site, and we would normally be on site at the festival from the Wednesday before the music starts through to the Monday after, on the assumption the festival starts and runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with members of the public arriving on the Thursday. So we're there a day before and we leave a day after, and within that whole period you'll have 24 hours worth of work, but are otherwise completely free to enjoy yourself. So it's not a massive commitment.
Yeah, and I guess those shifts can be spread over day and night?
Yeah, normally people will find that they have one morning shift that starts quite early and runs through till early afternoon, and then the next one would be the afternoon into evening shift, which finishes quite late, and then the overnight shift takes you from late evening through to the following morning. So you normally end up with one morning, afternoon and night shift. And overnight shifts, I think some people find them quite daunting until they do the shift and realise that actually it's great fun. the night shift can be hilarious. Sometimes the revellers that you see and the things that you witness, it's hilarious people spotting time.
After having been to Glastonbury a couple of times, I can guess that's true.
Yes, yes, especially at Glastonbury. One of my favourite memories from stewarding myself years ago was a conversation with a member of the public who was trying to blag his way into the car park. To get out of the gate, he was quite determined that he was going to chat us up to get into the car park, and I think he was attracted by the lights. I have no idea what he'd taken, but he entertained us for hours, and sort of wandered off into the car park, did a little dance, and collapsed in a heap on the floor. We just let him sleep it off, I think.
Probably a wise move.
Yes.
What sort of skills are you looking for from a steward?
Okay, so we want people to be honest and respectful. Obviously, it's nice if they're already an Oxfam supporter, but you don't have to be involved with the charity in any other way. But they need to be prepared to do that 8-hour shift and be polite and courteous, be comfortable talking to members of the public, because so often we are public-facing. That's really it. I mean, just to do what they've applied for and committed to and turn up and do their shifts, so that Oxfam can honour their contract with the festival organisers, and be responsible and attend the briefing and take on board the information they're given in the briefings. We don't expect people to come knowing exactly how to do it, and we do provide full training, and every steward is asked to attend a 3-hour training session before they go to the festival, and those are held all over the UK. It's part of the application that you register for the session that's nearest to you. And then on site as well, we have briefings for people to listen to information that's specific to that festival. But apart from attending those and turning up and doing the work, just to be decent human beings, really, that's the only prerequisite. And a minimum age of 18, I should add.
And we talked just before we started recording about Glastonbury and how popular it is. What are the top tips that you give listeners so that their application is successful, not only for Glastonbury but also for the big festivals more generally?
Well, the best way to make sure that you can secure your place at the festival that you really want to go to, and especially Glastonbury, which fills in minutes when we open our applications on launch day, is to just start stewarding at other events first with us. So if you do 2 festivals with Oxfam this summer, that will get you onto a priority application list next year, and you'd have a chance to apply early before we open applications to the public. And that means then that you do have a chance to sign up for Glastonbury at your leisure, without having to sit by your screen manically hitting refresh, as so often happens on public launch day. You can relax and apply at your leisure. There's usually a week or 10-day window for priority applications before we open them up. So doing 2 festivals this year is the surefire way to make sure you can go to Glastonbury next year. If you don't and you try applying next year, then you'll be up against a few 100,000 other people trying to do the same for a limited number of places. So it's first come, first served. It really is luck of the draw on the day, and being there in the first 10 minutes and very quick at filling out forms.
And you talked earlier around having a dedicated campsite at Glastonbury. Is that the same for all of the festivals, or will you be pitching a tent with the general public?
Usually not with the general public. That's pretty much consistent. At Glastonbury, we very much have a secure area that is unique to us. And at most of the bigger festivals, that is the case, that we have a separate Oxfam area, and we have ID cards, and you need your ID for Oxfam to enter that field. So it's that little bit more secure than public camping. But depending on the event, we might be in with other crew. We don't always have a fenced off Oxfam bit. We might be in crew camping and separate with our own marquee. Oxfam will always have its own marquee and provide catering. We provide meal tickets equivalent to your number of shifts. So you have 3 shifts, you have 3 meal tickets. We'll always make sure there's access to showers. The toilets in crew areas tend to be a lot nicer than in the public camping, because it's just us using them. We also provide in our marquee urns for hot water with free tea and coffee, so there's an endless stream of tea and coffee happening, occasionally hot chocolate if you're lucky. and phone charging as well. We put in power banks so that our stewards can charge their mobile phones, which I know the public would be very eager to have in the rest of the festival. But the reason that we do that mainly is so that we can make sure we can contact our volunteers if we need to throughout the festival, and that they don't run out of charge and then go off radar completely.
Finally, Claire, what would you say is the best thing about being a volunteer at the festival with Oxfam?
The best thing is the people, really. It's so much fun. I started volunteering as a steward way back in 1995 when I was a student. So I'm a very good example of someone who's done it for 18 years, and I liked it so much I left the corporate world and started working for Oxfam, and now I do this for a living. So I liked it that much. But along the way, I've met some absolutely wonderful people, and we really do have a tight-knit community of volunteers, and people who make friends, who come back year after year, and it's essentially a camping holiday with your friends, all supporting Oxfam. But we have some couples, we have people who've got married, we have some festival babies, and we have whole generations of families that steward together. I think the most I've seen is 3 generations of one family who all were at an event together. So it's a really family feeling. There's people of all ages, and they are, for the most part, absolutely lovely, and it's great fun, and you will meet great people. Lots of people volunteer on their own. They're not on their own for more than 5 minutes before they've met some people and made friends.
Excellent. And what is the best way for people to find out more about stewarding with Oxfam?
The single thing that they need to do is go to the website, and all the information is there, including which festivals we're at, how much space is left, and which ones are closed, and which ones are still recruiting, and so on. And the website address is oxfam.org.uk/stewarding. If that's a little bit difficult to remember, the quick way to get around it, if somebody's got their phone and texts the word steward, STEWARD, to the number 70066, they will get a free bounce back text with a link to the website in it. So if remembering the URL is not going to work, just text steward to 70066 and you'll get a text back which will give you the link.
Excellent, that's great. And all the links and everything we discussed will be in the show notes.
Wonderful, thank you ever so much.
Claire, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, James.
Thank you to Claire. This episode is going live on summer solstice, and as we speak, the Oxfam Glastonbury Festival Stewards will already be there, gearing up for a crazy time. And having failed to get tickets this year, have to say I'm very jealous. Next up, we're sticking with festivals of various kinds, but this time moving on to the continent as we speak with the gang over at Stoke Travel.
Welcome Jim Elton from Stoke Travel, who describe themselves as party travel for open-minded individuals, running trips and camps at 23 of Europe's best festivals and parties, from La Tomatina, Oktoberfest, King's Day, Benicassim, through to the running of the Bulls. Jim, welcome to the Graduate Job Podcast.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm sitting here with Jamie. She's our head intern hirer, our job hirer. We're sitting here with Bloomy. We're sitting here with Elise. She's from the States. We're sitting here with Mullet. He's from the States as well. We're international at the moment.
We're everywhere.
And so we're willing to talk and we're willing to hear.
Excellent. Now that sounds good. So before we jump in and talk about the jobs available, could you tell us a little bit more about Stoke Travel and what your tours involve?
Stoke Travel started off as a little bit of a surf company with a couple of guys who just basically packed up a surfboard into a van and drove around Europe and made a bunch of mess behind them. And since then, we've grown very hugely. We're now like the absolute largest company that works in Oktoberfest. I think we're the only surf travel company in all of Europe. We set up festivals. We make our own fun. So every Stoke festival is a festival in itself. In that when you come, you generally get a tent already set up for you. All of your booze is provided. You get breakfast, you get dinner, you get guided, and then every night we have entertainment. We have DJs, we have plays, we have theatre, we have a fun house that we build ourselves. We build everything up ourselves.
It does look amazing. And researching before the interview, I was getting very jealous. I've been to a few of the places you go to, but definitely not all of them, and it was certainly giving me wanderlust. So I know your staff are known as Stokies. What sort of jobs do you have available for people?
Well, it's Jamie here, not Jim anymore. We have a couple of jobs available throughout the summer. They do fill up pretty quickly. Like Jim said, we're a really big travel company and we have thousands of applications coming through weekly, but we have jobs
which is a bitch for you.
Yeah, very much so. We have jobs, everything from festival crew. We actually run products in 3 major cities, Ibiza, San Sebastian and Barcelona, where we hire events and promotional team. Then we have our full-timers and creative interns here in the office.
Excellent. And what sort of particular skills are you looking for from your staff?
Well, there's a lot of, basically anybody who's funny and creative and willing to wake up with a hangover. That's all we really need at Stoke Travel because as I say, the booze is provided everywhere. And so, yeah, we'll give you a day off if you're sick, but we will not give you a day off if you're hungover. So you need to be able to get out there, speak about yourself, speak about the place. The different types of jobs at the festivals, apart from what Jamie just said, which are the city-specific ones, are things like, setting up the tents, making sure that everyone's welcome and gets a beer on arrival, making sure that everyone is constantly entertained. We do radio shows. Make sure that everyone knows about the history of the place. We don't want to just be drunk dickheads. We also want to tell people where they are and what they're doing and give them a little bit of a language class. So
we need really creative people that can hold their own and, that can handle their drink on top of everything.
That's the main thing, really, for sure.
So extroverts who can speak a foreign language, is that
No, you don't even need to speak the foreign language. As long as you can say thank you and please. That's all we ask.
Just manners.
Oh, that's good. The language skills of us Brits don't tend to be great.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We'll teach you that.
So what would the average day look like working on a festival if you were working there?
Oh, it's all different. We've got about...
There is no such thing.
Yeah, there's not an average day.
There is no average day at a festival.
There's about 8 different roles within a festival. You could be stuck on accounts, doing accounting and doing the fun job of the festival, or then there's everything to handling the bar.
All the boring stuff like running the bar and making sure that people do nudie runs and making sure that people do beer bongs.
We've got a famous Wheel of Fortune that comes along to each of our festivals. So there's someone rostered on to man a big wheel, and it's their job to make sure the wheel keeps spinning. People keep swapping their shirts, kissing each other, downing their drinks, and having a whole lot of fun and winning trips.
We're probably getting off track. I guess the actual day of the festival would say, okay, at 7 a.m. we play a song called War of the Worlds by Jeff Wayne. That wakes everybody up to get them up early, even if they're hungover. Then someone needs to be at the bar, and the breakfast will be served, which is generally bacon and eggs, but it can be anything. We change it up depending on where we are, but it's always a hot breakfast. Then you're going to be listening to a radio show that's performed live in front of you. Then you're going to move to the actual festival itself, which you'll be guided into, or if you are a guide, you'll be leading people in, telling them about what's going on. Then you're going to go to the festival, say, 6 hours later, you come back, and then, or as a customer anyway, you come back and you handle the Guru tent, which is selling our merchandise, or you go and work in the Tentertainment, which is our theatre area, or you just pass out in your tent, or you go out and get cultural with and you get biblically knowledgeable with someone.
Yeah, it sounds good. I'm going to have to leave my job and come and join you. So how many days before and after the festival would people be required to be there?
Normally we start set up around 2 weeks before a festival. Because, as James was saying before, we create a festival outside a festival. So it's not just the accommodation, but we set up our own bar, our own kitchen, our own entertainment areas, our Guru tents, and again, we hire carpenters, so it's all handmade. Every festival is different from the next.
And we move a container.
And we move,
so
a
we have to
20-foot container from each of our locations.
2,000 tents. So we have to set them up. So we have to build our own bar. We build the fun house. We build the theatre stage, the DJ stage.
So 2 weeks before and around 2 weeks after for pack down.
Okay, and would the Stokey be expected to stay the entire length of that period?
No, it's optional. You can either stay the entire length, which most people do, but then we do understand that some people can't take, I guess, a month out of their real job and their real life. So sometimes we do half stints. We just always make sure that they're there for setup or they're there for pack down, because I guess that's the hardest yards of it.
So at least one or the other.
Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah. But ideally, of course, and many people choose to be there for pack up, for setup, and then they stay for 3 weeks after that, because you meet the best friends of your life, and you have the time of your life, and you get to eat and drink and sleep for free, and it's the best way to keep your European adventure going.
I can imagine. And how many staff would you have working there?
Oh, it depends what festival. We've got our first festival coming up, which is San Vino, and then Running of the Bulls straight after. So we have on our top night an average of around 70 staff, and then we head over to La Tomatina, where we have around 35 staff, and then after that we have Oktoberfest, which is our biggest festival, where we host around 2,000 people a night, and we have around 100 staff. That's
certainly a lot of people, so you're going to be busy doing lots of recruiting there.
Yeah, we've barely got time for you, James.
And thank you for your time now. And what does the application process look like if I was to apply?
So first step is, I guess, getting in contact with us. So it's either we get in contact with you via universities or school, or then some people contact us directly through email, word of mouth, or through our online job form. And from there, we pick the top applicants and go to send them a form, and from there, and once they send us a form, we pick the top from that, and then we have a Skype interview.
Okay. And what top tips would you give to make people's applications stand out and to get your attention?
Well, you've got to be funny, because one of the best things is, and one of the things that people remember about Stoke trips is that they meet the Stoke staff, and the Stoke staff are funny, knowledgeable, personable, and basically great to be around. So that needs to come out in your application. If we don't care if you send us a written application, or if you send us a questionnaire, or if you interview yourself, or whatever. We just want to know what skills you have. You know, some people out there they're not actors. Some people out there they're not accountants. But if you can be funny and you can be personable, that's all we need.
Yeah, that's what I found when I was sending my one through. I was thinking, God, have I really just misjudged this? Like, have I gone too far here? And then it was accepted, which was great. So
sure,
you can have a bit of fun with it. And
this is perhaps where Elise and Mullet can cue in, because they both applied and won the internship.
Yeah, I think the more creative you are, the better, because you're talking about standing out kind of in a crowd of millions of people that want to work for Stoke, and you get 2 minutes of fame and glory, or you just actually know someone.
Yeah.
So what did you do to make your applications creative and different?
Oh, gosh. I invested a lot in a friendship with someone, brought him coffee and asked him how his day was, met his mom, and I was lucky that he actually had worked for Stoke for 2 summers, and he sent me along directly. So
that's the word of mouth way. What did you do?
Well, mine was through another company as well, Global Hobo, who work in partnership with Stoke, and they basically said they don't want any boring CVs, they don't want any kind of, everything that you've done in the past. They want to know what you will do and what you can contribute to Stoke. So I kind of just put forward,
a funny fucking application.
Basically, yeah, I said, I like to get drunk and I'm often hungover, but I will work through that, which seems to have gone down well. And I do occasionally work.
Many things go down well with you.
Exactly. And I just kind of tried to make it really funny. And then before I sent it off, I had a moment of doubt, and I was thinking, God, have I
totally ruined the future?
Is this never going to work? And then I sent it through, and it did. So more is better, I think, and go for the funny comedy end.
Mullet used to be a customer and liked us so much that he applied for a job.
And do you have to have previously been on a Stoke trip to apply to work for yourself?
Most certainly not. No. In fact, we're emphasising the funny and the creative aspect because that's what we really like. But really, if you're if you're a hard worker who can rock up hungover, then you can still be, and you like meeting people, you can still be a receptionist. You don't have to be the funniest fucker in the world.
I think it's actually more if you're if you're good to work with and good to get along with.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell, even through like the Skype interviews and stuff like that, if you're going to be able to get along with the person.
You don't have to be the funniest fucker in the world.
Yeah.
I feel like we've put unnecessary pressure on people.
Yeah.
And do you still have roles available this summer for your trips?
Yes, we do have some roles available, not too many. Like I said, we get thousands of applications in, but we're searching through the final applications, and we've got about, say, maybe around 10 to 20 for each festival left.
So listeners need to be quick and get in touch quickly with Stoke Travel to bag a spot this summer.
Most certainly.
And as I mentioned, I'm looking through the trips. I've been to a few. They all look brilliant. What is your favourite trip of the 23 that you do?
Well, I really like running with the bulls. Not necessarily because of the bull run, but because of the party that goes on the night before, and the way that it rolls, and the way that all of Pamplona just explodes for 8 days and just goes crazy. That's my favourite festival, and I like our setup. It's beautiful. We're just next to sort of the surf camp sort of thing, so we can go surfing. It's just I like being able to have all of those options at me.
The Bulls Festival is a really good one because it's not only running of the Bulls we have offered at that one time. We also have BBK Music Festival running on in Bilbao.
Which Black Keys, Alt J.
Yeah, with a really good lineup. And then we do have our surf camp running. So all of our customers and staff get to choose. I guess they can surf, run with the Bulls, and go to a music festival within a couple of days.
Yeah.
Elise, what's your favourite festival?
I have to say I'm most excited about the wine fight. I think it just sounds like every little girl's dream to just douse a whole village in wine.
Every little girl's dream.
Yeah. Even grown-up girls' dreams. I can't wait.
I just can't wait to meet the 5-year-old who just wants to pour wine.
Yep, you've met her, Jim.
I think I quite enjoy the San Sebastian surf camp. Just because, I'm terrible at surfing, but it doesn't matter, they take you out and they teach you, and I've actually gotten much better from going there. But it's just such a relaxed, you can just chill out, and chilling out's my kind of thing, so it's a nice place to hang out for a few days.
Well, you've given all of the listeners certainly wanderlust for trips to go on this summer. So, guys, what's the best way to get in touch with Stoke Travel and to find out about the jobs on offer?
You need to either hit us up on our Facebook, which is obviously Stoke Travel on Facebook, or email jobs@stoketravel.com.
Excellent.
Or tweet
and all
at
the
us
links.
even. We don't care. Tweet us a funny thing and we'll go, yep, that's the person we want to hire. If you send us a funny Facebook message or, you look to be a good guy, why not? If you send a funny video at jobs@stoketravel.com and you are the funniest girl that we've ever seen, we'll hire you.
There you go, listeners. Get creative. Everyone, thank you very much for your time today. All the links and everything we discussed will be in the show notes, but, thank you for your time and for being on the Graduate Job Podcast.
For listening. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you to Jim and the crew at Stoke Travel. Work with Stoke Travel and I'm sure you would definitely have a summer to remember. Now, sticking with the theme of working away from home, but this time with a less hedonistic focus, we catch up with Jason over at Xplore.
Hello, and pleased to be speaking today to Jason Stewart, Centre Manager for Xplore. Xplore are a travel company who specialise in activity and language camps for kids around the world. Jason, welcome to the Graduate Job Podcast.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit more about Xplore and the sort of trips that you offer?
Yeah, we're a company that does a lot of work with teaching English as a foreign language and then coinciding with adventurous activities as well as excursions. We've got centres in the UK, Europe and China at the moment. We also do different things around the US as well with sort of single family choices. And we take kids in from all over on week holidays, both schools and individuals.
Excellent. And what sort of roles are you currently recruiting for? I saw that you had house parents and activity instructors and camp leaders.
Yeah, because it's coming up to the summer, and obviously the whole point of the podcast, it's quite a busy time for everybody at the minute. We're recruiting for everything from, we have centre managers, office managers, daily coordinators, chief instructors, our lead teachers, activity instructors, teachers, and then your camp leaders. We also take on volunteers for students who need to do it for either degrees or courses, and then obviously the support staff, so like our chefs, maintenance, and cleaning.
Lots of different roles there. What does the work tend to involve?
Well, it depends what side you're looking at it from. From an instructor or sort of camp leader point of view, you're looking, the vast majority of your day is spent with the children, looking after them and also leading them in activities, and also in a bit of free time, sort of play, learning side of it as well. Doing everything from air rifles to climbing, just to even singing sort of repeat after me songs and filler games. And
what age do the children range from?
We go from 6 years, upwards.
Oh wow! So it's nice broad range then. And where would the listeners be based then if they were working and volunteering with yourselves?
So we do residential positions and also living outside. Our residential positions, they live on the campus where they'd be working, or the centre, with all of the other staff, or you'd be in different areas. In the UK, we have places in St Felix, Woodbridge, Stowmarket, over down to sort of Gloucestershire, Reading, and also up into Nottinghamshire as well. And
what are the key skills that you're looking for from your workers?
I think that one of the major things we look for is enthusiasm, motivation, and just that kind of sort of relaxed and yet hard-working individual. You know, somebody who can take a lot of stuff in their stride and have a lot of energy that they can put into the job.
And what training do you provide, either on the job or before people would get to the camps?
Yeah, for the summer positions, we have a week training course which is held at one of our biggest centres, and that is where they'll learn all of the core skills to become an instructor, teacher, leader. We do courses for all the different roles, and that covers everything from your child protection to your activity instructing itself, what you need to do, with the children in between activities and teaching. Also, it goes through the safeguarding side of it as well, and they actually come away with some really good knowledge in that area. We also have extended seasonal staff who get the chance to go on and do more qualifications in canoeing and climbing, which are industry recognised throughout the whole of the outdoor industry.
You mentioned over the summer, so when would that be from and to?
This month actually is the sort of the kick-off point for the whole summer for us, and we go through till about August.
And so nice, fill up the whole summer with lots of cool activities with the kids then. And how important are language skills?
Well, very important. You're dealing with children from literally throughout the world, all coming from different backgrounds and different levels of English in themselves. You just need to be very clear and precise with the children, but also, you have to bear in mind that a lot of the children we have who come to us are there to learn English, and there's nothing better to learn English than listening to all the different accents of people living on the site. And, the kids actually go away learning intricacies of the language, which is quite nice.
But would it be preferential if people could speak different languages, so, European languages or further afield?
Not really. We try and encourage for the children to constantly speak English. At the end of the day, they are here to learn the English language. When they go on excursions and everything, they'll be spoken to in English from, people around the town, and they have to do interviews and things. So we really try and submerge them as much as possible into our culture and our language.
Excellent. And what are the rates of pay like, and are accommodation and food included? Is it all on the same site?
Yeah, it's above minimum wage, and also you have a lifestyle package where you have your food and accommodation, which is included in that, which is 3 square meals a day, as they would say, plus a room, and everything you need to live really.
And what are the top tips that you would give listeners so that their applications can stand out from the crowd? Be
yourself. There's nothing worse than when you come into this industry trying to be something different, because you sharp realise that it's not happening. So you just need to basically be yourself and be enthusiastic, I think, are the 2 main ones.
And what are the best bits of spending a summer with Xplore?
job satisfaction and the people. You speak to anybody in Xplore and anywhere, and you will, there's nothing better than that feeling of progressing a child through an activity or through their language. It really gives you a good feeling. I've been doing it for many years now, and I still get that feeling today. And the other one is you meet people who become lifelong friends no matter what happens, no matter where they go, and you will make that at Xplore.
How can listeners find out more about Xplore and also the opportunities that you have on offer?
Yeah, the best place for them to go is to our recruitment website, which is Xplore Recruitment, that's Xplore without an E, .com, and then just go through the currently recruiting tab, and that'll take you through our application process.
Thank you very much for your time today. It's been much appreciated.
No worries.
Many thanks to all our guests for their input to the episode today. 3 very different but equally exciting opportunities. Now, a few things struck me from this episode. The first is, and it's true whether it's a summer job or a permanent job, it's in your hands. The only thing you have to do to get one of these jobs is to get off your arse and apply. Would you rather have a summer spent moaning that there are no jobs near you, or doing the 12 Festival Challenge with Oxfam, or running with the bulls in Pamplona and surfing in San Sebastian, or helping a child to grasp new concepts in English for the first time? These opportunities are all there for the taking. You just have to step up, be proactive, and grab them. Now, if you're looking for motivation, check out episode 20 with Brad Burton and read his book, Get Off Your Arse. So having decided that you're going to apply, I love Jim from Stoke Travel's comments about the need to make it your application creative to stand out. Now, you might be thinking that it's all right doing something creative for a small, outgoing firm like Stoke Travel. But putting creativity into your application works at companies large and small. Listen to Matt Herndon in episode 19, where he talks about how the company he recruited at, which was one of the biggest in the UK, used 3D CVs, where candidates had to translate their CD into an item of their choice. By being creative, whether in the form of a video or song or poster or whatever, it says to the recruiter, I've invested time and energy into this application and your company, and I want to work for you. It also allows your personality to shine, an easier task on a video than across 2 pages of typed A4. Finally, although each of these in their own way will be an amazing opportunity, the key for me from a purely career point of view is not whether you spend a summer with Oxfam or Xplore or Stoke Travel, is that you spend a summer doing something. John Lee in episode 15 put it succinctly when he said that the first thing employers are looking for are skills, and the second is the application of those skills with work experience. They want to know that you understand what it's like to turn up to work and be able to do a job. Listen to episode 18 with Brian Sinclair and episode 19 with Matt Herndon, 2 graduate recruiters, and they both said how bored they got listening to students trotting out the same competency examples of working in a team from university or playing university sport. Any sort of work experience, paid or otherwise, will give you a plethora of experiences and skills which you will be able to talk about. That you might have gained them whilst volunteering at a festival with Oxfam makes you look like a more interesting and rounded candidate. And that you got those skills whilst having the time of your life is just an added bonus. Okay, episode on the best summer jobs done. Check out graduatejobpodcast.com/summer for links to everything we've discussed. Do get in touch with us on Twitter @gradjobpodcast, and if you do start working with Oxfam Stewards, Xplore or Stoke Travel, please let us know. If you've enjoyed the show, please leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. As I say every week, it's the best way, other than sharing us with your friends, to show appreciation for the podcast, and it helps massively in the rankings on iTunes. Also, if you've not already subscribed via your podcast provider of choice, you need to sort that out. It's the easiest way to get each episode delivered to you for free, and to make sure you don't miss a thing. Join us next week when I speak to networking guru Stephen Thomas, as we discuss all aspects of networking. I hope you enjoyed the episode today, but more importantly, I hope you use it and apply it. See you next week.